Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This what I tell 'em. Look, I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we're here with Dr. Brad Bellard, a great guy doing some really neat things, using his experiences to help with clarity and purpose. And so I'm so thankful to have him on this episode. So first off, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Oh, no, of course, man. I appreciate being here, Chip. You and I have talked a couple of times. You've been on my show now, and, you got phenomenal energy, man. So the fact that, you had me come on here, man, I'm honored and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. Talk to us about, who Dr. Brad is and where you're from and kind of track your story until now.
Yeah. So I live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, originally from that H, right? From H-Town. So you kind of down in my neck of the woods. But I grew up not too far from Fifth Ward. I saw you had some other folks in Houston from some guys who, was connected to the Ghetto Boys and stuff like that. And I saw that. So that was like kind of a throwback for me. But yeah, so I grew up in Houston, man. And, my dad was a bus driver. My mom was a bank teller. We were just, kind of typical family. I had two older brothers. And, through the grace of God, man, I just had some real solid mentors, one of which being my oldest brother whenever I was growing up, who just, they poured into me, man. And, they made some mistakes and they kind of made sure I didn't make the same mistakes. I was hard-headed, so I still made some of the mistakes. But again, because of them, I was just very motivated to try and achieve as much as I could. Started in athletics, but I caught the injury bug. And unfortunately, the talent I had in basketball just didn't really turn into much. So ended up going to college. And my oldest brother at that point started working in the hospital. Then I needed a job. I needed some money. He got me a job working at the hospital. And again, that whole mentorship kind of started again. I had some doctors who started pouring into me. Because Chip, let me tell you, I never thought I would be a doctor. Wasn't trying to be a doctor. Didn't think I was smart enough to be a doctor, the whole nine. I just knew how to play ball. And so those guys kind of encouraged me to say, you know what, man, this might be something that you can do. And around that time I had surgery on my knee, and I remember walking into the office where I had surgery, and my surgeon was one of the team doctors for the Houston Rockets at the time. And I remember walking in there, man, and Chip, you got to imagine, I don't know if you've ever been in a sports medicine office. You're an athlete, so you know what I'm talking about.
There's some good stuff everywhere.
So, man, there were jerseys everywhere. And I was walking down I was walking down the aisle of the office, and it was just years and years of pictures of the Rockets and signed jerseys. And I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I could do that.
But I never really considered it. I was like, this would be cool to do, but not me, right? So started working at the hospital, and that was when I kind of started thinking. The first thought was, man, maybe I could do this. And that was when I had some guys, kind of encourage me. Worked my tail off in undergrad, got into med school, both my brother and I around the same time. And then what's interesting is I had a dream. Listen, man, I had hoop dreams like everybody else, man. And so, I had this dream of being in the NBA and had vivid dreams of being in the locker room with the other guys. And when I got injured and all that stuff kind of went down, those dreams went to the wayside. But as life kept going and I went through medical school, I became an emergency medicine doctor at first, and then I did a sports medicine fellowship afterwards and did a bunch of training, came back down to start working at an office in Dallas. And lo and behold, that one office that called me back to work for them, which is where I work now, they happen to be the team physicians for the Dallas Mavericks. And so I will never forget, man, the first game that I covered, Chip, I was in the locker room and the dreams of what I had in terms of being in the league came back. And I was like, wow, I never imagined that I would make it to the league, but it wouldn't be through the door that I thought it would be.
Right.
But it came by way of a whole nother way. And so, that's kind of how I got to where I am now, man. I started as one of the assistant team docs for the Mavs the year after they won the championship, unfortunately. So I missed out on the ring. But those were some real fun years. And since then, I've continued to work as a sports medicine doctor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And, we'll get into it here in a little bit, but then launched a coaching company, being able to help some guys be able to get clarity on their calling so they can turn their purpose into a profitable business. But, to try to keep it as short as possible, man, that's how we got to where we are now with Dr. Brad. So
that's awesome. That's good stuff. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
First would have to be, like I said, Chip, I didn't imagine, I just hope that I can serve as an inspiration for those people who are thinking there's no way. Like there's no way. Because I was thinking, man, there's no way. I mean, I can remember telling my mom, I don't know why anybody would be a doctor. Like, I can't, I'm just, it's not fit. I didn't grow up with doctors. I didn't grow up with lawyers. It's just not how we grew up. And so that would have to be one of those things. Particularly when I look back, it just took it was a lot of sacrifice, quite honestly. And so becoming a physician and having achieved the dream of being able to, work with a professional team has to be one of those things. Second would be having the courage to go after what I do in my coaching business now. For a while, man, even though I had become a physician, I successfully achieved what I wanted to as a doctor. It came to this point where I was like, man, I feel like there's something else out there for me. I feel like there's a greater calling. Like, this is my career, and I'm grateful for my career, but I feel like there's a higher calling to serve, to be able to have significance and impact in the lives of other people beyond what I do in my clinic. Mm-hmm. And for the longest, I just decided not to. I said, no, people probably gonna think I'm crazy. I'm probably not gonna be successful. All those self-limiting beliefs I was having back in the day. And so having the courage to finally do that and launch it and, help the men that I've been able to help now will probably be the second one. The third, man, has to be my relationship with God, and the priority it's set in my life to be able to make sure he's first, family is second, and then business is third. And Chip, I can't say I'm always successful at that order, but because I've set the value to at least be there, that's the standard with which I try to achieve in terms of order and value for my life. And so that has to be the third one, man.
Awesome. Well, hearing you talk about your story and hearing you talk about the things that you're proud of, I would consider those to be hugely successful. And you mentioned, the S word, success. Well, let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
So if you look up, and I don't know, this is just my thought. I mean, if you look up Webster's dictionary or something, I mean, really, if you think about like the actual definition, everybody I think defines it a little different. By definition, success means that you accomplished a goal. I mean, in essence, right? But I think it's more than that, man. For me, success is the peace that you have by being very purposeful, having a purpose, and then pursuing it with high performance. I think when you align those 3 Ps, when you really have a purpose and you pursue it with high performance, and you maintain and sustain it, there's a piece that you have, particularly when it comes to calling. And that's kind of my niche, right? In my coaching business is really helping people get clarity on their calling. And when you're in that sweet spot and you're doing what you have been called to do, you're living on a higher purpose and you're pursuing that with high performance, there's a piece, man. There's a piece that happens. And Chip, I know what you're talking about because that's you.
Yeah.
You live out your calling. You know what I mean?
No
and
doubt.
there's something that happens, man, that all I can say is it's a piece, and it's that it's an itch you can't scratch unless you pursue it. And so I think that's what success is, man.
Good stuff. Well, now I was going to say now to the good part, but it's all been good for me. But what I want to do kind of off script here is just, I'm going to mention 3 words or phrases. And when you hear them, if you don't mind, just tell me what comes to mind when you hear those words or phrases. And it can be a word, it can be a phrase, it can be a concept that you have, however you want to elaborate on it.
Okay.
All right. So the first word is, I'm throwing you the fat ball here. I'm right down the pipe so you didn't knock it out, just so you know here. Okay. So the first word is clarity.
Oh man, clarity is king, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason why people aren't a big reason why people may not be where they want to be is because they don't know where they want to be. They lack clarity on what that looks like. Chip, it's hard to hit a target if you can't see it. And my job, because I'd struggled with clarity so much, and that's the thing, that's the crazy part about it, is because oftentimes we see the world like we see the world. We don't know just how much we lack clarity. I want you to imagine somebody who's seen the world with their own eyes for so long, they don't realize that their vision is like 80-20 or is off, right? Because it's all that they see. But imagine them finally putting on glasses or getting LASIK surgery or putting on contacts and being like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I was missing.
Yeah.
I don't realize how much I was missing the mark. And so they see the world completely different. See, with clarity comes confidence, because if I can't see that target, I'm not going to want to shoot that arrow, man. I'm not going to want to shoot the jumper if I can't see very good. So my goal is to help people get crystal clear on what that is. And by the way, there's no just by definition clarity, like I've got it. You can always get more and more and more and more clear. And so I think clarity is the key to success. I think clarity is the key to fulfillment. Once you can identify truly, I'm talking about succinctly, what it is that you want based on what your values are, set a goal consistent with that. I think the target comes a lot more easier to hit because now you know what it is and you're clear on.
Good stuff. All right. The next one, sports and life. Come on.
Oh man, so many different things comes to mind. The first thing that comes to mind is they go hand in hand for me, at least in my world, because I look at, I see athletes every day. I see sports injuries every day. I try to stay in shape to this day. I try to stay physically fit, in my life, and it's a part of my life. Quite honestly, I feel like a well-balanced life requires you to may not necessarily play an organized sport, but to at least try to be, try to stay in shape. The other thing comes to mind right now is everything going on with COVID, man. And right now sports has just taken, a certain type of backseat with everything that's going on right now in perspective. But for me, I think they go hand in hand, man, in my world. And so I think life should have some level of at least personal activity. But again, I do kind of miss a little bit of some of the sports out there. It's good to see basketball right now. So that's good.
No doubt. All right. And then the last one, I'm going to pause a little bit on this one because it's pretty good.
Okay.
Drum roll, if you will. No. The last one is legacy.
Oh man, you just gave me chills, man.
Man, let's go.
Oof. Chip, it's not about me, man. It's not about me. Coming to that conclusion happened because of so many years and time feeling like it was. And running my head into the wall saying, you know what, I got to achieve this for me. I got to go after this so I can shine. I got to do this so that, people can see. And with enough of that, when you get there and you realize it's not what you thought, or you stumble enough, you kind of got to figure it out. And I'm one of those hard-headed guys, like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out how to be able to combine success and fulfillment at the same time, which, by the way, is extremely possible. One does not have to be separate from the other. They can happen at the same time. And for me, the way that happens, man, is serve it, man. You just have to serve. And the more you can intentionally do things with other people in mind, to intentionally do what you do, interviews, I already know right now, you don't do this for you. You do this for other people. You do this for the people who are watching. I come on here, not for me, but for the people who watch, because I've been in their seat before. Oftentimes, to this day, I'm still in their seat, right? Which is why I'm a fan of what you do. And so legacy, man, there's no legacy without service. There's no legacy without putting others in front of you. And it requires a level of intention to say, almost do like a self-evaluation and a self-inventory to say, why am I doing what I'm doing? And be able to honestly look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm not doing this for me. But I do have to get out there and do so that more people can see. But not for me, for someone else. And actions can be oftentimes, it can be the same action, Chip, done for two completely different reasons. And now it's just completely turned to the fact that it's not about me, man. And legacy for me means that hopefully people can continue to do that and have that frame of mindset to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this for me, but I'm going to serve and perform and go after my purpose because it's about other people and not myself.
And really, Doc, like, we're all going to go through tough things.
Yep.
Nobody's immune from that. I don't care who you are. But what happens is when you have the perspective, like you just explained, when things get tough for you, it allows you to continue to push because you know that it ain't about you.
Chip, I mean, this happened today, man. I mean, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to get in there today. And there are times when, it's tough, it's tough doing things or accepting certain responsibilities as a physician. And it's tough, taking on some of the liability and it's tough sometimes staying consistent with doing what I have to do, in my coaching business. But one thing that I have to keep thinking about is there's somebody else out there who needs what I want. And I know some people might be watching this and be like, man, that sounds cliche. I'm telling you, when you get to this point,
yes,
that is the motivation. The motivation is no longer, I got to get on this stage or I got to do this for me. The motivation is the reason the stage is there. And if there's anything that's motivating me to get on there and sometimes get beyond my comfort zone is because what if there was a message that I was supposed to deliver and I talked myself out of it and somebody didn't get what they needed to be able to progress in life, to persist in life, to go after purpose in life? It's not about me, right? So I have to think that I'm working out. I'm like, you know what? I got to serve as a good example for my kids, man. I can't ask my daughter who's an athlete to say, hey, you putting in that work today and dad over here chilling, got to put in work because it's not about me now. It's about other people. So yeah, man, it's that, and you hit the nail on the head. That is my motivation now, is that it's just not about me and there's somebody waiting.
Love it. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love.
Yeah, man. Yeah, by all means. So I'm on all social media. The ones that I'm probably most involved on are going to be Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find me at Dr. Brad MD. So that's DRBRAD MD. And then Instagram, which is Dr. So DR _ Brad MD. And then you can go to my website, check out some great information there. I have some free stuff to be able to help you find clarity on your purpose. My niche, if you will, is being able to help men. Ladies, you can come on there too. You probably know some guys who could probably benefit from what we do. And oftentimes some of the ladies who hop on the show I do and so forth, they get value. And so you can go to drbradmd.com and find some great information there.
Awesome. Well, Doc, I want to say again, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me, interview with the Success Chronicles, and I wish you continued success.
Man, I appreciate it, Chip. And I just want to tell you, thank you not only for having me on the show, but thank you for answering your call, brother. Because people need it, we need it, and it's not about you, man. So I'm gonna pray for continued success and blessings for you, man.
Thanks for the kind words. Same to you, and thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Go get it.